There's this group called the Log Cabin Club. They're the gay Republicans. It's hard to figure out what they're all about. They say, look, we're gay and we care about equality, but we have other interests too, which we share with the Republican Party. So we'll try to change them from the inside. And that might make sense if the Republican Party were neutral on gay rights. But in fact, the Republican Party is, by its own statements, dedicated to reversing every gain the LGBT community has made in the last 30 years, which makes teaming up with them seem a little self-defeating. So in the election, the Log Cabin Club backed Donald Trump over Hillary Clinton. And a lot of us said, hey guys, that's a bad choice. Trump would be a disaster for us and for everybody else too. And they said, no, Trump doesn't have an anti-gay record, which was kind of true because he didn't really have a record at all. But we said, look, he picked Mike Pence to be his running mate. Mike Pence is one of the most theocratic, anti-gay politicians in the country. He wants a constitutional amendment outlawing same-sex marriage. He thinks AIDS education should include curing people of being gay. Log Cabin, get a clue. Admittedly, Trump did say the following: I will do everything in my power to protect our LGBT citizens from the violence and oppression of a hateful foreign ideology. But the key word there is foreign. He means he's going to protect us from Muslims. The only time Republicans are interested in LGBT rights, or women's rights for that matter, are when they can use them to attack Muslims. Otherwise, we're on our own. He's not going to protect us from hateful American ideology. He's not going to protect us from Mike Pence. But, horribly, the Log Cabin Club won. Trump has been in the Oval Office for 6 months now. So let's review what he's done for us. In January, he erased all references to LGBT civil rights from the White House website. In February, he tossed out federal regulations created by Barack Obama that protected transgender students. In March, he tossed out more federal regulations that said that the federal government and federal contractors couldn't discriminate against LGBT people. In April, he dropped opposition to North Carolina's anti-LGBT equality law. In June, he simply ignored LGBT Pride Month, never even mentioned it. And then in July, he issued some tweets. He loves to govern by tweets, and it's worth reading the whole thing. After consultation with my generals and military experts, please be advised that the United States government will not accept or allow transgender individuals to serve in any capacity in the U.S. military. Our military must be focused on decisive and overwhelming victory and cannot be burdened with the tremendous medical costs and disruption that transgender in the military would entail. Thank you. And thank you, Trump. And thank you, Log Cabin Club. Now, there was no real reason for this sudden policy change. The generals and military experts were shocked. They learned about it from the tweets, just like the rest of us. Thousands of transgender individuals are currently serving in the military, and they're doing a very good job. Their commanders were not complaining. The country would not be safer without them. There are 18 other countries that let transgender people serve, including many American allies, such as the UK, Canada, and Israel, and they're not reporting any problems. And the U.S. military was, in fact, studying the issues surrounding transgender soldiers, but the study had 6 months to go. As for the tremendous medical costs, it turns out that the U.S. military spends 5 times as much on Viagra as it would on transgender troops. We could save a ton of money by just tossing out soldiers who need medical assistance to get an erection, or just let them pay for their boners themselves. These tweets were a tremendous insult and a vicious attack on brave, hardworking people in our armed forces, especially coming from a man who is famously considered a draft dodger. He stayed out of Vietnam because of a bone spur that didn't stop him from playing sports in college. But the bigots in his base love this stuff, and Trump is very good at setting people against each other, promoting distrust, fear, and hatred. He uses it to justify whatever horrendous policies he comes up with. Also, I think he may just enjoy it. As for the Log Cabin Club, well, they were just stunned. The president of the group said, "I don't think anyone anticipated this." Really? Everybody told you what Trump was like and who he was in bed with. He's been stripping away our rights since day one. And you're surprised? Maybe you just weren't paying attention.
We love to get mail from you. Email us at comments@outlookvideo.org.
To contact us by phone, call 408-293-3040, extension 205.
Visit our website at outlookvideo.org.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/outlookvideo.
And connect with us at facebook.com/outlookvideo.
We are here to represent our allies and loved ones, stand united against the hatred and bigotry that divides our nation, that's dividing our nation right now. We march to defend inclusion, celebrate diversity, and ensure the equality and protection of human rights for all, regardless of age, nationality, social, economic status, skin color, gender identity, immigration status, faith, disability, and sexual orientation. We're here today as part of a national movement in support of equality.
I'm Bill and this is Tom, and we're married. We're gay. I'm HIV positive, and I'm here today because that fraud in the government in the United States of America refuses to accept us as gay, as married. He's against transgender rights. He's starting to discriminate against schools. And I'm here to rise up and say, we won't take it anymore.
My name's Tom. That doesn't matter. What matters is that you're here today. Today we stand in community and we stand in love because that's what binds us together and that's what's important. In Silicon Valley, we know that at the intersection of diversity and inclusion is transformation, and we create great, beautiful things for the world here. So don't let anyone tell you that you're not beautiful. Don't let anyone take away from you your pride, your diversity, your ability to include. We are better together. Don't buy the lie. Don't buy the lie. Don't buy the lie.
We're queer. Everyone is welcome here. We're here. We're queer. Everyone is welcome here. We're here. We're queer. Everyone is welcome here.
Just wanna see you. Just wanna see you. I wanna see you, baby. Just wanna see you. I just wanna see you.
I remember back in the 90s, 435 members of the House, only 67 of us voted against the Defense of Marriage Act. So now a majority of Americans believe that people ought to be able to marry whoever they love. That is a big improvement. But we have the Trump administration. They've already reversed President Obama's protection for LGBT employees of contractors of the federal government, so now you can be fired for who you are. They've already removed protection for trans kids, so young people can be harmed in school. So wrong. So we need to fight. Are we ready for this fight?